we have a problem. So my strawberries are starting to die really bad from the heat. I'm not convinced this plant is dead yet. It just went down. And this one just went down. So I'm going to desperately try and retransplant them and save them. So we'll see, because I kept them alive for quite a while. So I'm going to be really sad if I lose my strawberries now. So I'm going to get on that and see what I can do. Alright, so for trying to save my strawberries, I'm going to use this. So what I realized was I didn't realize that strawberry plants really don't get that big. What gets large and helps them grow are the runners. And I didn't realize that when growing them. So I'm going to move them into this smaller container that I can make sure I'm controlling the moisture over and everything like that. And I think another problem I have is our water here has a lot of calcium in it. So I got this sulfur additive and whoops, it comes looking like this. Little pebbles, they've been like pressed. So I was just curious, like, what does it look like ultimately? So you have this, and I put it in water, and it became this. So it does go to a powder, and these don't smell, so it doesn't have that rotten egg sulfur smell, but this actually kind of does. It smells like sulfur. Not necessarily rotten eggs, but it does smell like sulfur. So I'm going to go ahead and prep this. I have some soil over here from other stuff that I've grown that I'm just going to steal, and then I'm going to fix up this soil to make it good for my plants. Okay, so I just got my strawberries replanted. I'm very hopeful that I can save them. So what I mixed into the soil was some all-purpose 555 plant food, because sometimes they just have, like, in all my research I've been doing, plants don't need as much food that comes in stuff like Miracle-Gro. You could get Miracle-Gro, I use it sometimes, but I dilute it way down. So I cut it in half, I cut it into fourths. There's Arizona sulfur stuff to help get the acidity in my soil going more. I'm still very new to the whole gardening thing, so I get acidity and alkaline, lower your pH, higher your pH, all that stuff confused. But I do know that strawberries like to have an acidic soil, but they also they're low, like shallow rooting plants, although they were a lot further down than I was expecting in those. So I'm just going to try to save these. I'm going to move them under my awning, so this way they can kind of recover from having been transplanted, because I know some plants do go into shock from it. The other stuff I put in here was some compost mix that I got from the city of Phoenix. They had like a compost day, which was really cool. I had some worm castings that I mixed in here, along with my usual soil peat moss mix. So really got this soil, which was some leftover soil, kicked up a notch to really help these strawberries survive, please. So I still got one green leaf, so I consider these alive until there is no sign of green, and that's usually how I do my gardening. So right here you see my really sad blueberry, but again, there's green, so I'm hoping it's gonna live. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of turn up the soil a little bit, mix in some compost, mix in some worm casings, and then some more sulfur to help make the soil acidic. So I just grab a little pot like this when I'm trying to do multiple things or get into areas where I don't got a lot of stuff, and I'll just mix all my stuff into here and then slowly mix it into the soil, because you never want to burn your roots. So that can happen when you put stuff like compost, which is really high in nitrogen. It can burn your plants. So nitrogen helps give your plants like the leafy green look to them. So this helps with them looking green, but then again, it can burn them really bad too. So you got to be careful, just like anything, moderation's best. So I'm going to mix this up, and then I'm going to take it over to my blueberries. Alright, so let's bring you over. To highlight this plant right here and this plant right here, because I will show another photo next to this. They got eat up, like something ate them while I was away, and I'm really happy because I'm seeing a lot of growth coming back. And I thought they were going to be goners, but I was just like, I'm going to leave it and see what happens, and they're both kind of bouncing back per se, so we shall see what happens with them. I'm so hot and I am so sweaty right now that I'm going to pause, sit down, and then keep going.